Kerim Nisancioglu. I'm a professor of climate dynamics at the University of Bergen and the Acton Center for Climate Research. I'm proud to be a Norwegian, but I'm also concerned and frustrated about the way we behave internationally. We are conscientious of climate being an issue. At the same time, our government focus towards oil and oil exploration, which is a very bad thing for global climate. The point of this course is to bring together students from different cultures and to learn from each other. Welcome. But yeah, we're just going through a few of the kind of plans before the rest. Yeah, you can have a seat. We have one agreement with one school, Volmers High School in Kingston, and then we have to have the stations and everything lined up so that we have the activities for the school kids ready when they come on board. I think the important thing is that they should learn from each other what their perspective on climate change, like their understanding of climate change in their community, where they live. Any questions?
My dad sent me a question, like a message saying, "Oh, so you have to get one PCR for the boat." And then I saw it in the middle of the night and I was like, one PCR? I have to get 20.
I was counting like 4. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
But we have solved it. We only need one. First, take the PCR test at Fastplassen Friday morning. If you don't have the results by our flight, you go to Flesland earlier and take the hurtigtest there.
At least we have a plan. Hallo.
Hørte at tauet var kommet.
Ja, det er ikke så veldig lite du skal ha med deg heller da, hvis du skal pakke alt det der.
Nei. Hva målinger var det vi skulle gjøre med det?
Det her er den type tau som de brukte for over 100 år siden til å måle havtemperatur. Det er men også en dybdemåler på bunnen. Og så skal vi se om vi kan kalibrere de gamle målingene. Så det er
fra HMS?
Fra de gamle målingene fra HMS Challenger på statsråden. Det ligner jo egentlig den båten HMS Challengers fra 1870-tallet, som tok de første virkelig helt kritiske målingene, og det som starten på moderne oceanografi. Så det er jo litt tanken å gjenskape det de gjorde ombord på den der, for det er jo helt kritiske målinger som vi bruker den dag i dag. Altså før menneskene påvirket havtemperaturen, så var de ute og målte, tok temperaturen på havet, og det er det vi skal gjøre igjen nå da, 150 år tilbake, senere. When I was almost finished with my studies, the Norwegian oil company were in the process of offering me a job, a car, a house, and I was very tempted. But I decided I really wanted to do something else. I wanted to work with climate as a science, so I chose that path. Nora? Ok. Og så skal vi ta flyet klokka 10, så tror jeg vi skal dra klokka... Ikke
jeg tror
klokka 10.
Det var klokken 3.
Nei, det er klokka 10. Klokka 3? Nei, det er fra Amsterdam.
Åja, når må man våkne?
Du må stå opp som 7, tror jeg. Vi lander på lørdag, sover en natt på hotell, tester oss på søndag, venter til vi får resultat, og så går vi ombord med båten på søndag kveld, og så seiler vi på mandag klokka 1. Har du sjekket været?
Ja, det er ganske varmt.
Hvor varmt da?
Sånn 28 liksom.
Men vi snakket om det med studentene, for de lurte på om det kan komme orkaner. Du vet hva det er?
Ja, jeg har også sagt opp det. Eller så stod det sånne sydenstormer, og det var ganske bildet var, ja.
Men det som skjer nå er at det blir varmere vann i Karibien, og da får du flere stormer. Eller i alle fall, om du ikke får flere, så blir det sterkere stormer. Mer av de sterke type stormene som gjør mer skade. Og så kan det jo være at hvis det blir varmere vann, at du har orkaner også litt senere på høsten. Og det vi har lyst til at vi skal lære, altså studentene våre skal lære om det.
Ja.
For de vet jo ikke hva det betyr. Du vet jo heller ikke, jeg vet ikke. Hva betyr det når en orkan kommer forbi? Jeg tenkte vi skulle se denne video. Hvis dere setter dere, skal jeg vise dere en video fra klimamøtet. Gidder du ikke?
Your Royal Highness, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. The pandemic has taught us that national solutions to global problems do not work. We come to Glasgow with global ambition to save our people and to save our planet. But we now find three gaps. And this is at best reckless and at worst dangerous. So I ask to you, what must we say to our people living on the front line in the Caribbean, in Africa, in Latin America, in the Pacific? When will we, as world leaders across the world, address the pressing issues that are truly causing our people angst and worry, whether it is climate or whether it is vaccines? Simply put, when will leaders lead?
So I've been part of touring schools for many years. On the personal level, for me, I mean, a climate scientist, to interact with the local community and be part of that. Påvirke menneskene, men vi får aldri møte de menneskene, vi får aldri vært til stede på de plassene som vi snakker om i teorien på tavla eller i PowerPoint eller i kursene våre. Så nå er det første gang vi faktisk skal ta med en gruppe studenter, og da er det studenter både fra Norge, fra Nord-Amerika og fra Karibien, til et felles kurs på Statsråd Lempkull. Så dere kjenner jo båten, for den ligger jo i Bergen. Så skal vi ta målinger hele tiden, både av hav, av luft, av fisk, og se på karbon i havet, blant annet. Så det er veldig mange muligheter for å forstå bedre hvordan klimaet i havet og generelt endrer seg, men alle henger sammen. Så det er jo menneskene som påvirkes oss av klimaet, men dere bor jo i Bergen.
Er det sånn at er dere bekymret på en sånn måte at dere tenker på det, at det er noe som plager dere av og til?
Eller ikke sånn i geofagtimene, for da blir det litt mer sånn fakta på en måte. Men sånn når man leser om det på nyhetene og sånn under valget og sånn, da kjente jeg ganske mye på det.
Da kjente du ganske mye på det, ja.
Det er litt motsatt, at nå det er så kompleks alt sammen, alt henger sammen. Så at det er geofag 2, så ser jeg hvor mye som egentlig skjer. Før tenkte jeg bare sånn, nei, vi kan bare slutte å kjøre biler og alt sånt. Men det er så mye større bilde.
Ja.
Det bærekraftsmålet som vi snakker om her, det er jo klima, men det er ikke klimafare eller det er klimahandling. Altså, det er egentlig den oppmuntringen, en call to action som vi kaller det. Det er sånn at nå er det mange muligheter, mange ting vi kan gjøre. Altså, det er klimahandling som gjelder fremover. Så man skal ikke være redd for endring, men man skal heller sånn, ok, det vet vi kommer. Hva skal vi gjøre? So now what we're doing is that we're teaching students in Norway about climate, and most of the devastating impacts of climate change are seen abroad. So by bringing together students from different parts of the world and learning from each other is essential. Der er brevene.
Her er brevene.
Takk.
Det er fra 6 av klassene.
Ja, hvor mange elever var det?
Cirka 150.
Ok. Og det er ikke sikkert at vi får 150 brev fra Jamaica, da, men vi får jo se hvor mange som får lov å komme ombord i båten. Satser på at vi kanskje får til noe live også, da.
Ja, det blir utrolig bra hvis vi får til.
Ok, takk. Ja, ha det. I get, of course, inspired to better understand where we're going. So I can see things are changing and climate is warming and the ice is retreating. And it concerns me because I can see that that impacts a lot of nations around the world, particularly in the tropics. So what's our potential role in this? What can we do?
your attention, please. Your undivided attention for the next 15 minutes. You have all been COVID tested, PCR tested. We've tested you with anything we could throw at you, so you can get closer together. Seriously though, my name is Marcus. I am the captain for this voyage, and we are looking forward to soon leaving Curacao. You are the ones who are going to sail the ship from here to Jamaica. We will stop sometimes during the voyage to do some sampling and testing because we are a scientific vessel, in addition to everything else we do. Now you can say, "Oi!" Very good. And this is just to see that you're staying awake.
Are we ready for singing?
What should we sing?
Evo or something like that. I don't know.
Kerim, what are we going to sing?
Guys ready? Yeah. Oi!
One good move. One, two, three.
So I can't believe after finally so many months we're on board the ship. I'm very excited about finally meeting the students and our colleagues and learning from the local communities about climate change in the Caribbean. So this is the hemp rope. You've seen this is 2 lengths of 62 and they've spliced it. You wouldn't even notice, right? It's like a beautiful job by Janus and his team. So this one is now what we're going to start with. It's only 120 meters, but eventually we'll make 1,000 meters. And there's a little loop here that we can attach the equipment in. We need to organize ourselves a little bit because there are 3 teams. So one team is going to do the hand measurements, old-fashioned way with the rope. I think, Chantal, you can find probably 2 more people to be in charge of that. And you have to make sure you don't lose our rope, right? So fasten the end somewhere, tie it up, yeah. This is where you attach the instrument, and Fiamma will show you how to do that.
So this one, pressure, this is where the sensor is, so you don't want to block it. This is temperature, this is where the thermistor is. Back at the surface.
Yeah, just keep going. So with modern instruments and satellites, we're still only really measuring the surface of the ocean, and a lot of the changes in climate occur in depths. So to measure the deep ocean, we need to send instruments down into the deep, and that's what they started on 150 years ago. So we're going to repeat those measurements with more accurate instruments and get a more comprehensive data set of deep ocean temperature. Should we take it up?
How long have we been?
Much more than a minute by now.
I think we're more.
So we're looking at the results as they come up, but we won't really have the answer until we get back in Bergen after 2 years of collecting measurements from around the oceans, and we're expecting that we'll be able to calibrate the old measurements 150 years back in time. Du kan gå foran, Lars. Ja. Så ikke gå for nærme dem foran. Ja. Det fint sånn, altså. So I'm very happy and privileged to have my daughter, Nora, on board the ship. And I know that it's not an experience that any teenager will have the opportunity to take part in, but it's important for me that she learns about what I do as a scientist, what I work on, and at the same time I know that she's learning a lot. Går bra, Nora? Jeg ikke gjør sånn, forresten. Jeg sa ikke gjør sånn du, sa jeg. Det trenger du gjøre. She will bring this with her for many, many years to come.
Start.
Can you see how fast it's moving?
We can plot it by how we can take the time from when it passes. There's many ways to do that. Yes, we can.
Right.
So this is moving at about 10 knots.
10 knots. We also calculated, right? The chance of having one now while we're here is 1 out of 10. But of course, it's also interesting to know if that could change, like the seasons.
In the Caribbean, it's, between June and November, you can expect anything because that's the hurricane season. The difference is not how many hurricanes, which year, the difference is how strong they are. So now everything is much more intense. It happens quicker and it happens stronger. So if there's a hurricane, it's unmanageable happen. And that's, of course, once again, because of the heat. The heat rising up is more than it used to be.
I mean, the science is so relevant for you and for crew as sailors.
It is.
But I was just wondering how, because we don't really talk together much as scientists and sailors.
Of course.
And so
We have to, because we're looking at this 24/7. We're watching our movement. The wind and the currents are pushing us all the time. And we have to know why.
I have to check that the phone works on Monday so that we can use it as a backup for this live thing with the schools.
Project it onto the sail. The PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, actually, yeah, but probably in the day it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I guess we need to.
Oh, they hoisted the Jamaica flag.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Ja, bara ge mig visning helt ja.
Ja, rad op og ned.
Op ned.
Ja, rad op og ned. Peger lidt væk fra skibet.
Ja, lidt ut og forover.
Ja, meget lidt.
So I'm very much looking forward finally arriving in Jamaica and meeting the school children and my colleagues at the university and the politicians who will be visiting the boat in Kingston. And not the least to learn about climate change and how it impacts the people living here. Okay. All right. Nå tror jeg vi begynner å bli klar. All right. You guys ready? So what we do is we bring them in whenever they come. They'll sit down here, and then the one pupil student who is going to talk will be with me on the backside. Maybe me and Chantal will do some greetings and stuff first. Bernd? Okay, guys. Guys, 1 minute, little silence, okay? 1 minute, we go live.
So today we're kind of hosting school groups to introduce them to the different projects and tying it back to their teaching curriculum that they do here locally.
So our students have set up several stations on board the ship so that now the school children are visiting. They can learn about climate change in a hands-on type of way together with our students.
So you can stick this in and just mix it around, and we're going to wait until the numbers stop.
You have to write the unit, right? Because maybe it's an American reading and they might think it's Fahrenheit.
They did these measurements back in over 100 years ago during the Challenger. And you did it today, kind of helping us collecting data, which is super important.
Any questions?
Yeah. I have one. What do you think would be like preventative measures to lessen the heating of the ocean?
Go for collective action, right? Collaborating with each other to kind of do your best to reduce your carbon footprint and to get your state involved. So the government, and you are maybe not of voting age yet, but you will be soon, and that means that you will have a responsibility to speak your voices and your opinions, and those need to be heard. So I'm very glad you guys and girls could come, and I hope that they've taken good care of you during the last 2 hours and that you learned some science, something about the ocean. So what I have here is 150 letters from our school, the ones you saw on the screen. They've been writing, old style, you know, when they wrote letters, put in the mailbox. I brought them from Bergen. So we're hoping that some of them will
also interest you to read a little bit about how it is in Bergen, how their life is, how their school is, what they do in terms of climate, what they do in terms of sustainability. So they're a little bit about that in each letter.
Thank you so much for
thank you.
Presentation.
Yeah. So it's taken quite a lot of work to get this Memorandum of Understanding between Norway and Caribbean ready. But once it's signed, it will be much easier for our colleagues both in Norway and the Caribbean to work together, have students and faculty visit each other and work on finding solutions to climate change.
We have the great pleasure of welcoming you on board Statsråd Lehmkuhl. It is very encouraging to see students from the University of the West Indies enjoying the opportunity to carry out investigations alongside students from all over the world. They will all help increase our awareness of how crucial the role of the oceans is on meeting the targets of the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. And tonight, the University of the West Indies and the University of Bergen will strengthen our friendship further by signing a Memorandum of Understanding which supports research, collaboration and exchanges on key topics such as climate change, biodiversity, fisheries, pollution and ocean acidification.
Is that arriving?
Yeah, there he is. He just stepped out.
Welcome.
Professor.
Hi.
Hello.
Chantal, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Nice to meet you.
This is Nelly Womberger from University of Bergen, Jessica Tingwall from University of Bergen. So all of
Very
these
nice to
are our
meet you.
students on our course. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So, but all of them have been, and you maybe heard in the media, have been hosting students and school children for like 100 school children, 100 students yesterday who came on board, learned about the ocean, about climate, and focused on Jamaica thanks to these guys, to Chantal and Darren, who are the local knowledgeable people that have kind of been as much teaching as I have, I would say, right? So far.
So you are in physics?
Yes, sir.
And you're in marine biology?
I'm in marine biology.
So it's easy to see why you would be on the ship.
Easy to see. I mean, climate change affects all disciplines, so yes, I guess coral reefs would be a little bit more visual.
You know, Jamaica being a small island state, obviously totally surrounded by sea, it is our interest for our long-term survival, growth and development. And I think we need to do much more in protecting it.
Yeah, we're very, very grateful for that. I mean, it's an educational institution, as scientists, and we know what this means.
So it really is about communicating the science that we do in a palatable way so that the next generation understand and can carry on the work that we do.
To be a climate scientist, you kind of have to be an optimist. There's a very serious message that we're communicating. But at the same time, I believe that as a multinational team, there's no challenge we can't solve together. I'm very confident that today's youth will be able to find a solution to the climate change.